stories you want to share, what gratitude you want to give. So if you have something that somebody you want to thank, something you want to tell us about, a success that you've got going on in your business, you can either put it in the chat and I'll read it, or you can raise your hand. We're going to pull you in and talk about it. So who's got something going on out there that they just want to share? Any hands raised? Anybody you want to tell us about? We're not live. We're not face to face. So I've got to see your hands over there to the side. I'm looking for my participants. Anybody? Kathy always has something good to say. Is Kathy here with us? All right. Well, I got to say that I am so grateful for powerful power-ups this morning. We at the Gulf Beaches Power Up, we talked about our intention and setting our intention for the day and being powerful with our focus on what we're going into the day to achieve. And I'm so grateful for, it was a group of powerful women this morning that showed up and set powerful intentions for their day on the tasks that they were working on to achieve great results for their business. So thank you for the ladies of 8:30 at Power Up for Gulf Beaches for starting my week off with a bang. So thank you so much for that. If I don't have any hands raised over there who want to shout out some great things that are going on in their businesses, I don't think I do, so I won't twist your arms. Let's just go right into talking about what's happening in the market. So I'm gonna show you what's happened this week, and we're also going to look back at what has happened in April, just so we can have some perspective. There's some really interesting facts that I saw about our April statistics. So if I can here, yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to come back to this in just a second, Anna. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. I was told that I could, so I'm going to share my screen. And here we go. Okay, so for you all see my screen, right? So we're going to start with combined stats for Pinellas County, and we're looking at, again, at the month of April. And we're all going to take a deep breath here because it's in the rearview mirror, it's past, and it's just going to give us a good perspective of where we're at and where we're going to move forward to. So in April, you'll see down here at the bottom that closed sales, we were at 1432, which was a drop of 30% year over year. Paid in cash was down even more at 38%. So that means what? That we had more mortgages on those homes that were sold. And then new pending sales, that was an even more drastic drop at 45%. We had new pending sales of 1252, new listings 1481, which was around 35, 36% decrease year over year. And then pending sales went to at 1868 from 3037 the year before. So our overall inventory, though, I thought this was interesting. Our inventory active listings were at 4752, which was an 18% drop year over year. Now that's combined for both single family homes and condos, townhomes. Our absorption rate, which I always read this because I just think it's great to make sure we understand that the low absorption rate means that homes are selling slowly, suggesting a buyer's market. So we did see a little slowdown. We went from 54% absorption rate in March to 39 in April. You'll see, though, just as reference, in January it was also at 38% for single family home. And then condos, very similar story here, where it went from 34% absorption rate to 24% absorption rate. So it's a slower market in the condo market. January was at 25 though, so it's very similar to our January situation there. And now we're going to dig into specifically single family homes for April. Our stats here showed that in closings, we had 879 closings in Pinellas County, which was down 26%. Paid in cash was 210, which was down 30%. And then we see our median sales price at 290 right now in April of 2020 compared to April 2019 at 269. I'm going to call it 270. So a $20,000 increase overall, which represents 7.4%. We really like looking at median sales price because it takes off those outliers that might skew the numbers if we have a large luxury a sale that's going to make that appear a lot higher than what the true median middle price is. So that 290 is the medium, where average sales price was 371 if you look at if you don't drop out those outliers. A couple of things that really stood out to me. I'm sorry, I geek out a little bit on the numbers. Used to be a stockbroker, love to dig into numbers and statistics and all of that. So this number just jumped off the page at me. Anybody else looking at medium time to contract? Last year we were at 32 days from the time of listing to time of contract. We're at 17 days in April. So all that fast turnaround that we kept talking about, things would go on the market, hit the market, multiple offers under contract. We saw that. Lisa Spencer was talking about that the other day. You know, within 5-6 days, we're seeing things go under contract. Our medium time to contract on single family homes in April was 17 days. Now, is that a story you can talk to your sellers about? Does that provide some urgency, some motivation that things are going under contract so fast? So if I was having a conversation with a seller, that's something that I would certainly, you know, when we're talking about when do you want this house to sell? When do you want to move on to your next? What would it be like for you if we went under contract in 17 days? Because that's what was average in April. That's a huge story to be able to use to tell our sellers. So I love that. And then medium time to sale is 56 days. So under 2 months from the time of listing to sale, 56 days, which that's a huge speed up from last year, right? We're like, andale, we're doing this fast, set from 72 days to 56 days. So I love those numbers. They mean things are happening fast. The motivated are making moves and it's happening fast. There are buyers out there who want to buy, and when something goes on the market, things move fast. That's what I'm seeing in that. So that's the good story that we can tell out of a lot of negative numbers here. So our new pending sales were down 38% on single family homes, new listings down 31%. And I'm going to skip down to that last line where it says month's supply of inventory for single family homes in April. We kept feeling it. We kept talking about it. We kept talking about our shrinking inventory. Here's proof. Our month supply of inventory in April of 2019 was 2.9. And in April of 2020, it was 2.2. That's a 24% decrease on an already tight inventory. So that just goes to speak to that other number of 17 days, that when inventory is that tight, what comes on the market that can move moves fast. If you look down below, and I'm not going to scroll to this, I want to stay on this screen, but if you look down below, you'll see that our year-to-date inventory for single family homes is exactly 2 months supply, meaning that if all the buyers that were out there bought up all the houses that were on the market, and no more sellers came onto the market, that we would be out of homes to sell in 2 months. Let that set in for a second. 2 months, that's it, and we would be out of inventory. So that is why it is so important that we continue to build our inventory. All right, we're going to skip over here to condos. So condo market's a little different, yet we see a lot of similarity. Closed sales down 35%, paid in cash down even more, 44%, which means that more people took mortgages than last year at this time. Our average, let's talk about median sales price. Our median sales price, again, about a $20,000 jump, but this represents 19% increase in condo median sales price, going from $165 last year to $196.5 this year. Woo, that's some appreciation, right? Okay, average sales price went from 266 to, or 260 to 266, not a huge change there. And our dollar volume was a decrease of 34%. Again, same story here. It's a little different. It's a little slower with condos, and we understand why. There's a few more steps to take, right? Especially with the loan, making sure that the condo association is also approved and all of that. So median time to contract, 26 days versus 40 days last year. That's 35% faster than the previous year. Median time to sale, 75 to 71. So that hasn't sped up so much, but going under contract is still a lot faster, even on the condo side. If we go down to new listings, down 41%, pending inventory down 38%, inventory overall down 13%, with a 3.2 month supply of inventory versus 3.4. So we do have some more inventory in the condo world than we do single family homes. I know over here on the beaches, our market is made up of about 68%, 70% condos on the actual beaches themselves. So it represents a big part of the beach market in Pinellas County. So again, if you look at the year-to-date month supply of inventory, we're at 3 months year-to-date even. So we're still seeing that traditionally what would be called a seller's market, in that it's below the 5-6 month mark of supplies of inventory. So I hope that that's giving you a peek in the rearview mirror. It's all in the past though. It can help us understand where we're going in the future. I love to look at that. So I do want to look at what happened last week in Pinellas County. So last week in Pinellas County, you can see here on this 1 to 7 days. I'm not sure if you all can see my cursor. I could keep using it like you can see it as a pointer. I think you can. I think you can. I'm pretty sure. So 1 to 7 days, you can see the orange is for pending. You see that key over here, it's pending. So active is blue, orange is pending, sold is gray, canceled is yellow, temporarily off market is blue, the lighter blue, sky blue. We're going to call that sky blue. So active has gone from 170 new active listings coming on the market in the previous week, where we see 8 to 14 days. We had 275 come on the market last week. What does that tell you? More people are listing. People are starting to be ready to list. The world is starting to open up again slowly. We're taking strides in the right direction. More people are willing to list right now. Have that as an affirmation right now as you're making your lead gen calls. More people are willing to list right now. People want to list with me. More people are willing to list. I love that. And then pending, you can see we went from 263 to 295. So again, we had another jump in pending. This is specifically single family homes. So we're going to look at those two things. Our 4-week active, you can see new listings, 70 as of May 22nd, a 9% 4-week active, price increases 4, price decreases 34, back in market 19. So those were changes. So back in the condo market then, this has been consistently more even, at least last week, between pending and active, where we're at least taking on almost as many new listings as we have coming off the market and pending. So you can see though another big jump. To me, I just hope that this gives you, okay, more people are taking action. Last week, more people took action. Look at that. We went from 130 that went listed the week before to 174 in the condo world, 146 to 176 in the pending. So again, this is a story that it's telling us that people are listing, more people are coming on the market. You can see that trend up month over month over month. So I hope that gives you some great information on that. And then I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to show you one more thing. If Anna, you can bring that beautiful stat up again for me. I want to show you what the Chadwick group did last week. And interestingly enough, these numbers are very similar to the week before. We had 93 new listings in the Chadwick group. This is Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, our 6 market centers, our some 1,500 agents. 93 listings were taken. The week before, I think it was 95 listings, again for 31 million, so very similar. We had 218 pending sales, which the week before last, it was about 225. So similar, and then 125 sold. So, and that was very similar too. So last week we had $144,000 worth of business transacted, 144 million, let's say that again, $144 million worth of business transacted between these 3 numbers. Again, this week it's 144 million. So we were within 1 million, I think it was 144.8 to 144 million, right around there. So if you look at those numbers, we were consistent month over month. My challenge would be to you was Pinellas County's consistent month over month or week over week. Anybody? I hope you're saying, no, we just saw Pinellas County grew. We had more, we took more listings. We had more things go pending. So I'm just saying to the best agents in the best group in real estate out there that this is the time to take more listings, have that mentality, that mindset that there are more listings to be taken out there right now. So I hope that those stats have helped you to get a clear picture and giving you some value to bring to your sellers and buyers on what's happening in this market. And I'm going to transition next, before we go to a guest speaker that we have, I'm going to transition next to Drew Carlisle. He is the tech ambassador for the Keller Williams Gulf Beaches office. And on our ALC here, Drew, are you with me? Are you with me? Can you show your face?
I am here.
All right, you're here, but I don't get to see your face?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here.
How you doing?
Good, good, really good.
What do you think about those stats that we just shared?
Well, I'm glad to see that the number of new listings is going up, because we were really gobbling it up. You know, we kept talking about, we thought inventory might even go down to like 1.7, 1.8 month supply. So good to see that there's still stuff out there. But yeah, we're seeing it out there. Things are going quickly. If you get a listing, it's going to go quickly because there's just not any competition.
Right. Well, Drew, we have a special guest speaker for us today, and that's Donnie Brookman. And I know you work with Donnie. I would love for you to tell us what's coming up in your Take Command series. We've been talking about this series a lot on here. So tell us a little bit, I'm giving you like 2 minutes because I want to make sure we get to Donnie. Tell us a little bit about what the Take Command series is and what's coming up this week in Take Command.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Take Command series, we've been running for several weeks now. And we're kind of about 3/4 of the way through. Ignore the check marks for the moment. I haven't updated this. But basically, it's a 12-part series. We're going to run it every quarter. It's one class per week. We're doing it on Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. And the idea here is if you complete all 12 sessions, you'll get a certificate for completion. We're doing it on Zoom, and lasts for an hour. As long as you're there for a minimum of 40 minutes, you get credit. So we're keeping track of everybody who's been participating in that. And it's being taught between myself and Renee. And for next quarter, we're hoping we're going to have a couple of guest speakers come on and teach some of these sessions. So we're basically going.
What's Wednesday?
Every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m.
And what are we teaching this Wednesday?
So coming up this Wednesday is session 9, which is smart plans.
Yes.
Renee's going to teach that. And then I'll be coming back on next week for reports and goals and getting all that type of stuff set up. And then from there, we're going to talk about the referral network and some really cool things that they've added on. And then we're going to wrap up this quarter, this session, talking about your KW app and marketplace and command and a few things like that. And then it's not on here, but we're going to have, you could call it session 13, but really it's going to be an open Q&A session. So we're just going to be on there answering questions for an hour, jump on command, show you how to do things. If you've got any specific questions on something maybe we didn't cover in the course, or maybe you missed a session, or something you may be having an issue with. So
awesome. And I just got a note that somebody said that 4 and 5 are on the YouTube channel, so we'll work on that. Drew, thank you for coming on and telling us about this. I know you've been working close with Donnie. Donnie, I know you've got time between conference calls and you fit us in, so come on in, unmute yourself. Donnie Brookman's here with us.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Great. How are you, Donnie?
I'm doing fantastic this Tuesday morning. I know I was sharing with you last week. I was so excited to be able to join you guys, even if it was only for a few minutes today. Thank you so much for having me at your sales meeting. Yes. It's great to see Drew as well.
Yes. Well, tell us.
Great to see you, Donnie.
Drew and I have been talking about this new, I'm calling it a protocol, but how we can help our agents when they have tech issues come up. So talk to us about what KWRI and you and the tech ambassadors are doing to help them move forward with command.
Absolutely. So we are actually very lucky here in the North Florida region. We're participating in a lab that is going to help shape the future of our entire country, of our entire company's technology vision. And what we're doing is we are working through the Market Center Tech Trainer program. So for the past maybe 6 to 8 months, other regions, just like we had previously, we're working to hire a regional technology trainer. So I'm proud to be serving the North Florida region as the regional technology trainer and working very closely with Drew and Renee from your Market Center specifically, and Market Center tech trainers across the entire region. All 38 locations have nominated their Market Center tech trainer to help bring our top priorities and concerns as it relates to technology, both in training elements and feature requests. And when we need to get those bugs, those little nuances and things that might be broken in command that we might need to get addressed a little bit faster, making sure that our North Florida priorities as it relates to technology are heard at Keller Williams back in Austin, Texas. So we've developed a system to do that. We're working directly with Keller Williams International. I actually just got off a call, it was right before this one. We're working on a task force nationally to develop the Market Center Tech Trainer program, both the 30, 60, 90, a complete new role inside of the Keller Williams ecosystem. So I'm really excited to be partnered with that.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So tell us how this this protocol is that what I should call it? It's like you guys are developing something. So if agents have something that isn't working right, that they have a resource, they know where to go, they know how to take it up. So tell us more about that.
Absolutely. You know, we're a company of systems and models. So we recognized a need and we needed to develop a new system and model. So that's exactly what we did. So the way it works is because we have 38 locations and there's just over 6,000, almost 7,000 agents in the North Florida region, we've worked to identify that tech Market Center tech trainer at each location. So that way, whenever you're experiencing something with command that's going wrong, you have a lot of great resources. You have KW Connect. You have all the amazing Facebook groups out there. And now you also have your Market Center tech trainers at the local Market Center.
And let's not forget, Donnie, that we have Tech Hub. We have all the resources and the videos that you have been making before. It feels like before Command even existed. It's like you and Command were developed at the same time. So we've got those resources too.
I know for one of these days, I'm going to pull like a 30 or a minute long clip of a video that's like 2018. I've been making videos since October of 2018 about Command.
Right.
It definitely has come a long way since then. But absolutely, we're going to be able to bring those to the forefront, use all of our resources, and then help to identify, well, is this a bug? Is this something in Command that needs to be fixed? Or is this a feature request, something that we need to develop to enhance Command so that we can use it more effectively and efficiently in our business? Or the last one, is this a training opportunity, a way for us to learn how to leverage Command at a higher level? And we have a system for all three of those categories to make sure that the words, the most important pieces, get funneled all the way back up to our labs team, our developers, whether it's the support team, whether it's the administrative team at Keller Williams and operations, a way for us to make sure we get all of that information to the right departments to get us the help that we need here locally on the ground.
Awesome. You know, we always talk about that Keller Williams is for the agents and by the agents, and that has been just shown in spades. This is proud TL talking here in our market centers though, and Drew and Renee, and I know Dan Hill and Torin and Bob Carty and so many, Bob's leadership, yet all these people within the Pinellas County Chadwick group have stepped up to help train agents with no extra pay on how to work Command. And that's what I love about this. And Drew and Renee sat down and developed this 13-week series of how to actually certify somebody and taking Command. And I love that they took the initiative to make that for our local group here so that people really can get up to speed on and have that interaction on how things, how to use Command at a high level and integrate it into their business and help run their business through that tool.
Absolutely. It's an all hands on deck. This is a team effort. And I love to capture a little bit of that right before we started. The other thing that's great about this is Drew and Bob and Renee and all of those great tech trainers. We've also built a new community for them to peer collaborate. So that way, when they come up with a great idea in Pinellas County, they can share that with all of the other market centers in the North Florida region so that everybody can learn and adopt. What do they call it? The R&D?
Yeah, rip off and duplicate.
Yeah, if it's not broken, don't fix it. We have a lot of amazing, talented individuals and a lot of knowledge to share here in the region to be able to share and collaborate. You're also going to be seeing that from the agent side. So if you've been able to attend the Shift with the mega series on Wednesdays. If you're in that elite or the top 500 groups on Thursdays, you're going to start seeing those in June shift. And a few of those have technology implementation strategies shared as well. So we're going to be identifying agents that are implementing our technology at a high level and bring those training elements directly to those groups of the agents as well. So a lot of really exciting stuff and change coming over the next couple of months. And I'm excited to be on a team with all of you.
Awesome. Well, I know we have very limited time together, but I would just be remiss if I didn't ask you one command question. You know, we have a guru amongst us. So tell me, Donnie, what are you most excited about command right now?
Ooh, right now has got to be the ability to add your own virtual tour link to your listing. So that means in the MLS, we are combined. We have to put a unbranded link into our virtual tour. However, on your consumer facing platforms, currently on your agent site and coming on the next app update, you'll be able to go into command, go to your consumer app and settings, and actually add a branded link if you choose to, or a virtual tour. So what we've done is I've gone through and added my Matterport link to all of our listings. So that way, as a consumer's browsing on the agent site, they see a little virtual tour link and click on it, and it will take them straight through that Matterport where they can physically walk through the property just as if they were in a real-time or in-person showing.
Awesome.
I love working for a company that's able to pivot like that. I believe we beat another national real estate portal by 2 weeks having that feature and a request a virtual tour feature. And that's the power of having a platform and what we built and being able to pivot very quickly. And when we're only working towards our agents and keeping our agents' focuses top of mind, that's how we're able to make those adjustments. So I'm super excited about that. And the more elements that we're seeing coming with consumer, making that search more human and bringing that connection back into your timeline card so that you as an agent can see everything that your consumer's doing through command and on their contact timeline.
Right. I love that ability to do the virtual tours and to brand it. It's taught, we said Donnie's going to tell us more about how to make money with command. And that's just another way that we can build our business through command, because having that branded video and the ability to do virtual tours on the spot, it truly helps build our brand, the agent's brand, build name recognition. And who isn't out there going, wow, this is awesome that I can do this from my home right now and not have to necessarily step out of my house and go see every home. I know that our future of real estate is going to change even more than it has already, and how narrow the focus of the buyers that are going to be out there is because they've already been able to truly experience so many homes online.
Absolutely. You know, I don't think 100% of our buyers are going to say, I never want to go walk through a home again. However, I think a lot of buyers are getting used to the comfortable and the ease of being able to virtually walk through a property and see that. And I don't think that that's something that will be going away anytime soon. So any agent, my biggest recommendation is for agents to not lose those virtual elements that you're learning and you're pivoting right now in your business. Just embrace them and keep moving forward, because this is going to change the way our whole industry operates, not even just inside of Keller Williams, but real estate as an industry.
Absolutely. Donnie, we appreciate you so much. We thank you that you are such a wonderful support and knowledge that we can glean from. I know Drew and I have gone to your videos to learn so that we can teach, and we appreciate you. Drew, do you have any last thoughts before Donnie goes to his next call?
No, we'll let him go, but appreciate all the information and the support, and we're getting all kinds of great updates as command evolves, and I'm so excited about the new featured listings. I just activated that, so yep, now we got featured listings on our website.
Yes,
Really excited.
yes. I mean, there's so many great things coming, and likewise, back at you. I'm so excited to be a part of this community and helping everyone grow.
Okay, thank you, Donnie. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Make it a great week, everyone.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Again for coming on, and the Take Command series again is on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. So thank you, Drew. Okay, next we have Coach's Corner, and I think it's actually our productivity coach, Michael Reedy. Michael, are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And, I wanted to make sure that we're having a conversation on the big picture. So want to make sure that we have the ability to screen share. If someone can give me control to do that, Anna, that would be great. I want to talk about, so as a coach, oftentimes I hear from a lot of people, maybe they're getting caught up or they're being distracted by what's going on in the moment. And it might be from the perspective that is, you had buyers, you're really working very hard for them to convert, right? And oftentimes I have a conversation as a coach where it's like, what do you want to accomplish this week that would be a success? And some people are like, I want to get my buyers under contract. Okay, and as much as that's something that we want to do, if we look at from a goal setting perspective, can we force anyone to buy a property? Can we force anyone to pull the trigger? And so I want to make sure that when you're setting goals on activities that you have control over, right? So we
Michael, we're losing you a little bit. You're
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna
yeah, you were just freezing a little bit, but I think you're back with us.
Got it. Okay. So it's from this perspective that a lot of people sometimes will make goals or they'll set goals around things that they actually don't have control over. And that's where we talk about setting SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic. I know that Rachel hates that word realistic. Realistic, I want you to think of it from the perspective of,
I don't know if Rachel's on. I don't think she hates the word. I think she just thinks that realistic means the amount of activity that you're willing to put into it to make it happen.
Absolutely. And so I want you to frame it from the perspective of realistic being, do I have control, right? Can I move the lever or not? So this is from the perspective of how many appointments can I set? How many conversations can I have? And yet what I really want to make sure that we're having a conversation about is, do you think that Gary Keller only plans his year in the fourth quarter right before the next year? You think he's planning 3 years out? You think he's planning 5 years out? Or is he planning even further than that? And so I want to make sure that you've seen this. I know that we used to focus on this a lot with the Career Growth Initiative, and I just want to bring it back, and it's called goal setting to the now. And so we have to say, what is our someday goal? What is our wildest dreams? What is our someday goal? What's a level of achievement that we want someday? And then from there, we have to go, what is the one thing that I want to do someday? And then we're going to take that into 5 years. Based on my someday goal, what's the one thing that I can do that is going to be on track in the next 5 years, that if I hit that goal, I'm going to hit my someday goal? And then we take that further down and we say, what is the one thing that I can accomplish this year that's going to get me on track for my 5-year goal, which will get me on track for my someday goal? And then we take that down monthly, and then we take that down weekly, and then we take it down daily, and then we take it to right now. And what I want to say is that if you were to start every morning realigning yourself with what was my someday goal, what do I need to do this year, this month, this week in order to hit that? Do you think that your time blocking would look differently? Do you think that your schedule would look differently? Your priorities would look differently if you were framing everything that you were doing from that perspective? And I'm challenging you to do this because I sometimes find that a lot of us get caught up in the minutia of today, the distraction of today, the fire of today, that is not going to mean anything to you a month from now. It's not going to mean anything to you a year from now, 5 years from now, or some day in the future. And so it's completely different. That is, you get to be, Gary Keller has this quote in The One Thing, that is that people do not choose their success, or people do not choose their results. People choose their habits, and their habits will form their success. Their habits will form their results. And I know that this was one of the biggest things that changed my world, by making sure that I was running things through the filter that is, what is the someday goal? And am I actually doing the action steps that are going to get me there? That's my challenge for all of you here today, is you might have lost path on what that someday goal is. Now, that someday goal could be about a certain level of financial independence. That could be retirement. It could be a trust for your grandchildren for college. Whatever that someday goal is for you, do you know what it is, and is it in front of you? Because that's what's going to shape your activities. This past quarter has been wonky for all of us. And yet, if we're doing it just from the basis of, what am I doing today to get through this week? What am I doing today to get through COVID? you're going to be framing maybe from a more limiting mindset than if the idea was, what was my someday goal? It hasn't changed, or maybe it's gotten even bigger. What can I be focused on right now to ensure that that's the direction that I'm going? And that, I mean, that really is, I know I've got limited time, but just imagine what your world looks like when you run it through that lens. Kristen, I know you're here. By looking at it from this perspective, right? How different do you think that, and I'm sure you do this sometimes, I know I don't do it all of the time, right? How different would your schedule look like by time blocking if every morning you filtered and looked at what I have on my calendar, and is this the best thing that I can do in alignment with my someday goal?
You know, every time I have gone through this physical exercise, step by step by step, what it's brought is clarity. It's not, the questions are not hard to answer. It's, oh, obviously I need to do this to move forward. Oh, obviously in 1 year I need to do this to move forward to that. It becomes so clear, and then it breaks it down into bite size. You know, we always say it, we eat an elephant one bite at a time, and it breaks it down to the bites that we can actually take today to move forward. It reminds me of the Ben Kinney episode 23 of Make, Win, Give, Win, Make, Give, Win, Make, Give, that where he talked about starting a restaurant. And, you know, if you say I'm going to start a restaurant, yep, I know your daily priorities. If you say you're going to start a restaurant, you're much more likely to get there if every day or every week you're like, I'm going to create a great recipe today. That it's a bite-sized movement. So it just brings clarity to the now of what needs to happen to go forward to actually produce the life and design the life that you desire.
Absolutely. And this can be in any element of your life, right?
Right.
So if the idea is that someday I want to be in the best shape that I possibly could ever be in based on healthy choices and diet and exercise, then what can I do right now that would get me on track to be there someday? I mean, you can take it from any place. And so I just want to make sure that in a time of confusion and uncertainty for a lot of people, when our eye is taken off of that North Star, we're willing to follow any star. And that's what's so important about this process.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Rachel, welcome.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great. We have had a fabulous conversation about statistics and technology, and now goal setting to the now. So we are ready to talk about open houses and what's going on in that front in the world. So take it away.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I know I got several texts over the weekend, Facebook messages, and actually it's been happening for a couple of weeks now. Can we have open houses? Can we have open houses? So Stellar MLS and the Florida Realtor Association has put out some guidelines for open houses. I believe this was added to your weekly email. If you're not getting your weekly email and opening it, please do. There's a lot of valuable content that for the three offices they are working on diligently. I know Anna, Sheila, and Shantae put those together and just make sure that they have the most up-to-date and most important information for you guys. So as far as open houses are concerned, you can have them now, but you definitely need to take some precautions. And the way that you take precautions is also going to, show your respect to the community. And so we want to make sure that as Keller Williams Realty Chadwick Group, that we are always setting the bar at the highest level and being respectful to our local community. So a couple things to keep in mind is you want to make sure that you have the homeowner's permission. Starting with vacant homes might be the best idea. But then you also have a lot of sellers who are ready for open houses. If it's a condo or homeowners association, they might have some additional restrictions. So you're going to need to talk to the HOA president and just find out what those are so that you're making sure to abide by their regulations as well. And it gives you extra contacts and relationships to build. So just a couple of things. You need to make sure that you are disinfecting the property before and after. So making sure that you have plenty of disinfecting supplies. You want to make sure you have hand sanitizer out. So making no sign-in sheets. It's going to be better for you to take people's contact information instead of asking them to sign in electronically or a piece of paper. And instead of bringing sheets of paper to hand out and saying, do not hand out sheets of paper, do not hand out your business card, you guys have a great KW mobile app that you can use. And so that's going to be hands-free. When you go in and get the open house set up, just like you would do with any open house, of course, you want to make sure all the doors are open, even closet doors, and make sure all the lights are turned on. So no one has to go into the house and turn on light switches or open doors. Now, this is going to be a case by case. You guys can decide how you want to do it. It does recommend that you have plenty of the face mask and gloves available for people to come in. Some of you might require people to wear a face mask, and if so, you want to make sure you post a sign out by the front door stating that and having that equipment available to customers as they're walking in. You also want to make sure that you are keeping the foot traffic minimalized within the house. You might just allow one couple in at a time, and kind of think about that since it hasn't been too hot. It has been raining, but it hasn't been too hot. If you can allow one couple in at a time, and then you have other couples standing out front, that makes the house look a lot more attractive. Like, oh, look, people are lined up to get inside. It's kind of like Trader Joe's, right? So you just want to make sure you're doing that. Also, it might be beneficial, depending on the size of the home, to have somebody there to help you open the front door, close the front door, for the guests coming in. I recommend if you have the productivity coaching program in the Market Center going strong, finding a launch agent, somebody who wants experience, somebody who wants to shadow a solid open house. Ask them to tag along. They're going to love the experience. So you can also do that. Make sure that if you have customer, especially if you only have like one group coming in at a time or two groups coming in at a time, if they have questions about the house or they want to converse longer, you don't want to shoo them out, but you also want to make sure that you have a separate space where you can answer questions so that you're not like in the middle of everything going on. Let's see. Oh, this was another suggestion, and it kind of made me feel like I was at Publix. You could put arrows on the floor like depending again how many people you have coming in, but you might put directional arrows. It depends on the size of the house, the layout of the house, how many guests you have wanting to get in. All of these are just ways that you can make sure that your home is COVID ready, and advertising it that way, and then making sure you have the virtual open house available too, and having the sign with the virtual open house availability so people can look at it online instead of having to come inside. I know a couple of agents, I know Bunny Longwell has been doing this really well. There was another agent, I believe in the Gulf Beach's office or in Seminole.
Julie Snyder.
Both of them have been doing a fantastic job. And we have another class coming up on that, don't we, Kristen?
Yes, I don't know the time and date. Maybe Sheila or Anna can tell us.
Yeah, it's always funny to see 3 Rachel Sartains on here, but I know that Sheila is one of those. I don't know who the other one is.
Probably Anna.
Oh, okay. So we have 3 Rachel Sartains. Really, there's only one crazy.
Yourself and I.
Let's see if you guys have any questions about this. Tiffany says she posted the regulations on the Gulf Beach's Facebook page. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, you could type those into the comment field right now. Georgia said that she saw the MLS announcement, so it should be in your email if you're looking for it. If you don't find it there, it's in the weekly. So feel free to go ahead and start scheduling those open houses, but you're going to have to do a lot of prep work and post work, so make sure that you're scheduled appropriately. Does that sound good, guys? All right. Before we finish up, thank you, Georgia. She said it sounds great. Before we finish up, there have been some, as you know, this is a weekly sales meeting for the 3 Chadwick group offices. It's not just our one office or Gulf Beach's one office or Seminole office. We've decided to collaborate everybody together because each office has such strength and talent, and we want to make sure that we're supporting our agents at the highest level. With that, the Downtown Market Center has been about 300 agents for a long time. We're no longer 300 agents, we're less, and that's going to happen with COVID. So a lot of people have decided this is not the business for them, and they have gotten out of the business. That our goal is to continue to grow and to continue to help people develop and develop their business. And with that, we've made the decision to bring on a full charge market center administrator for the downtown office. Lindsay Catania has been sitting in that seat for about 6 months now. And she was essentially forced in there, but I love that she took on the driver's seat. Like, she went in there to drive this huge battleship. And it is a lot of responsibility, and with Gigi being home from school and all the other pressures in our world right now, we've decided that she's going to continue on as assistant market center administrator and really learning that role and building her skill set. And we brought Stormy Lavin over as our market center administrator for the downtown office. Stormy has been a productivity coach, agent services, assistant team leader, and MCA. She's worked in 3 other market centers, and she has recently joined the downtown office. So if you guys still use the same MCA email, just want to let you know, you're going to hear the name Stormy, and you're going to be like, Stormy Daniels. I know, I've heard it so many times. But no, Stormy is our new full charge market center administrator at the helm of this big battleship. And Tiffany LaFleur said it's hard to step up to that chair. Great job, Lindsay. Absolutely. I'm so very fortunate to be working with people who just take on the role. They take on ownership of the role. And Lindsay has done a fantastic job, and we still rely on her greatly. So I'm so glad that she's going to be hanging around with us and just enhancing her skill set and her knowledge as well.
And can I just say, Rachel, that Tiffany and Lindsay have been working so closely over these past few months together, and Tiffany's been supporting not only the Gulf Beaches office, but the downtown office too. So I was just going to say, when are we going to see Stormy on camera? So shout out to you, Tiffany, for all your help, and welcome, Stormy. We're so excited to have you.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Yay.
Well, you can find Stormy now hunkered down in the MCA office, and I do want to give a shout out to Tiffany and Sheila and Anna and Shantae and Lindsay and Bob and Kristen and all of us.
And Michael and Candice.
Yes, we've all been 8:10 every morning. We're on a call, guys. We're just trying to figure things out so that we can be here to support you 100%, because developing you and developing your business is what we're all about. I read in a John Maxwell book this morning about culture of companies, and it said some companies are built for profit, and but the most successful, the most profitable businesses are focused on people development. And I was like, wow, that is 100% Keller Williams and what we do every day. So thank you guys for being part of us.
Gave me chills, Rachel. Means we're doing something, we're doing the right things, because that's what it's about helping our people, our agents develop the businesses and the lives that they want to live.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you, Kristen.
All right. Well, I think, do you have anything else, Rachel?
No, we can wrap it up early. We don't need to keep them here for an hour.
Do we have upcoming events, Anna and Sheila? Might just tell you what's coming up next.
Sheila's on it. She's going to share that screen.
I know she is. She's on it.
I'm waiting.
Either the screen or her face, one of the two things.
There she is.
She is.
I missed the first half of your sentence. What'd you say?
What's upcoming? What are our upcoming events?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this.
That's okay.
Do we have a slide? If we don't have a slide, don't worry about it.
We do not have a slide. I do know that Michael is doing a pricing class on Thursday. And I know that we have Take Command on Wednesday. They will be in your weekly email that went out yesterday.
And also today at 1 o'clock, we have group coaching. It's for everybody, guys. All the market centers, all the people. It is about what is going on in your business. What obstacles are you facing? How can you overcome those? How are you setting goals for the now? being, you know, how are you adjusting in this new world? How are you adapting to change? So that is today at 1 o'clock. Again, the link was in your weekly email. And Sheila's birthday is June 1st. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. We won't see her on Monday or on the next sales meeting. Yay! How old are you now, Sheila?
27.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah,
how long have you been in my world? 6 years now?
6 years.
Because I remember when you turned 21 and you were like, well, birthdays after 21 aren't really that important.
Every year I celebrate.
Yep, you should, because I told you what the opposite of celebrating was.
Dying.
We have a lot to celebrate, Sheila, that's for sure. Thank you, Sheila.
Happy birthday, Sheila. All right, guys, anything else, or can we let them all go?
I think we're done. We've had a fantastic sales meeting, and use those market stats that we talked about today. There is a lot of good information in there to take more listings. So go back and use that, and you all have a fantastic day. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks. Bye.